What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 10-7 MMA show. And today it looks like it's just going to be me. And I wanted to talk, first of all, so sorry I'm late. We plan to go on live at 9. The reason why is I'm actually at the airport right now. So hopefully my audio is okay. I'm streaming from my laptop. Another issue is my battery, the charger in all these boots don't seem to be working. So I got like 12% battery life. I'm going to try and blaze through this as quick as I can. But I did want to talk about all the crazy stuff that's going on right now in the fight world. A lot of crazy stuff. So the first thing is I want to say on Justin's behalf, one of the things that is happening with him right now is he's mounting a comeback to get back into the UFC and just tear it up. He had a really unfortunate fight that we talked about on Tuesday. Sorry, he had a really unfortunate fight last week where he took so many illegal strikes to the back of the head, illegal elbows. I mean, it was just crazy the amount. And he talked to the ref after the first round, and it continued. And then anyways, bottom line is, the amount of legal fouls that happened against Justin was crazy, but yet there was no warning, no point deduction. And then the fight was called off. I mean, it was just, the whole thing was crazy. I didn't really understand any of it. A lot of it was bizarre. The only thing I want to say about that is Justin is going to be appealing this decision, rightfully so. And we'd love your support in any way possible, because I know Justin is feeling better than ever. He definitely should have won that fight. I think it had the fouls been called and all that stuff. And that's it. So I just want to talk about that. And we're going to be posting a video where he's going to explain exactly what happened on this channel. So we're going to do that later today. Okay, let's keep it rolling, because I don't know how much battery life I have here. So the next thing I want to talk about is Jon Jones. This is wild. Okay, so I'm devastated personally. I don't know what Justin's take is on all of this, and I'd love to hear it. But here, let me tell you from my perspective why I'm so devastated. One of my favorite things about this sport is watching people achieve these insane heights of greatness. Just watching them be so dominant, so devoted and dedicated to their craft. Where they reach this sort of like superhuman level. We've seen it with so many fighters in the past. I think Anderson Silva, Khabib, all these guys that have done incredible things. I mean, there's so many before them too, but it's like you just sit back and everybody roots for this rise and this dominance. I think a lot of people do. Some people root against it, I think, occasionally, but I think that in general we cheer that just, wow, oh my God, they've taken it to a whole new level. It's just so fascinating. And Jon Jones is the epitome of that. I think his record is, pretty much everybody considers him undefeated, and beating Stipe, I mean, just from that legacy standpoint of where he would be and what he would have achieved and all the amazing things he's done, like I want to see it. And I want to see Stipe. I don't want to see Jon Jones fight really anybody else, because I am one of those people that is excited about adding that amazing name to his legacy and to his record, and walking off into the sunset if he chooses to retire. I'd love to see him continue to fight, but to me that would be amazing. I see why the UFC wants this fight in particular. It doesn't want to put Jon Jones against anybody else, because it does create that beautiful ending to the story. And I think they want him to walk away as a champion and walk away essentially undefeated minus the DQ. So I'm devastated. And I think there's still a chance that this can be resuscitated. I think that they say 8 months. Who knows, though, how long he'll be out? 8 months, maybe a year. I know some people were saying in the MMA community that, hey, that's going to be so long. Stipe continues to get up there in age, etc. Will it still be there? I think the fight would still be amazing. I still want to see it, again, for that legacy standpoint. I'm on board with what they're doing in terms of the interim belt, because I think they need to preserve. I've heard other people talk about the fact that, hey, they should make this a real title fight, and with Aspinal versus Pavlovich, etc. But I like this. I think we should preserve the belt in the hands of Jon Jones. Maybe he's back sooner. Who knows, right? And then he can fight. He can do what he wants. If he feels he wants to retire, I completely support it. If he feels he wants to unify the versus Aspinal, more power to him. And he's a pure legend if he does that, but a legend regardless. And yeah, so I I do think this is gonna, it seems like it's gonna still come together, and I can't wait. I hope. I'd love to hear Justin's opinion, as I said, from the fighter perspective of how he feels about it. But I feel like it's still incredible, regardless of what people want to say about Stipe. Okay, we're gonna jump into Aspinall versus Pavlovich. Holy smokes. This is the one thing about this fight, is that regardless of how upset and disappointed I am that the Jon Jones fight got canceled, man, these two fighters are so incredible. And I think it's tough to say, right? Like, they're probably, I don't know what would happen if you put one of them against Jon Jones. I still feel like Jon Jones will probably come out victorious, but these are, aside from Jon Jones, these would be the two scariest guys in the division. Unbelievable talents. I love Tom Aspinall. I love watching his interviews. Pavlovich, again, there's that language barrier, but just such an animal, such a beast when he fights. His striking is incredible. I love good strikers. It's what I train. So I feel like I can analyze it a little bit better. And Pavlovich, incredible. Tom Aspinall seems to be a much more well-rounded fighter. But man, this is exciting. We've heard on other channels the people talk about the notion that Aspinall's coming in on 2 weeks' notice, and that's a major disadvantage because Pavlovich was the backup fighter for this fight. So he's already been in camp. He's already been training. Now, he was training for either Jon Jones or Stipe, theoretically. So he's still going to have to make adjustments in terms of strategy and watching tape and stuff like that. But the point is, probably going to be better conditioned, probably a bit more ready to go. That's the unfortunate element of this fight, is that it seems that Pavlovich is coming in with a bit of an edge in that sense. But I still think it's going to be fantastic. And I'm calling for Aspinall. I think he's going to come through. Part of the reason why everybody says how just incredible he is, and I've seen him in fights, and he is an amazing fighter, well-rounded. People say how incredible he's in the gym as well, but his confidence and the way he speaks about the fights, and I think that means something, and I think that means something pretty substantial, and I think he's going to pull it off. I do, but man, it's going to be great. And then we got this amazing main event now too. Alex Pereira versus for the belt. Oh my God, blanket out his name. But anyways, that title fight is going to be incredible in the light heavyweight division. I'm rooting for Pereira for sure. But yeah, great card. I think they've saved it once again. All these shuffling of fighters and stuff, man. I think the UFC is on their game, and this is fantastic. Okay, last thing we're going to talk about. This one, I was really hoping we'd have Justin on here because this is his teammate. This is Ngannou, but perhaps I can give my perspective. I've been watching the fight build up, and here's what I'll say about this fight. And this weekend happens to be a weekend where I'm going to go visit family. So I probably actually am not going to watch the fight. Otherwise, if I would have been back in LA, for sure I would have bought it. For sure I would have bought it and seen it because I want to see it. I think it's a spectacle. I think it's interesting. And there is a possibility that Ngannou could come out victorious, right? If he lands that one shot, I think, as people are saying. But it does seem like a pretty low probability from my perspective, from what I've seen. So I'll tell you what a lot of folks have been talking about in terms of the speed difference. Obviously, you have a veteran champion, all-time great boxer in Tyson Fury, and then you kind of have Ngannou, who's an amazing striker in the UFC, but pretty much an amateur, more or less, in boxing. He did say he started his career in boxing, fair, and he's got some striking chops, but that differential in skill level and experience, I don't know. It just feels insurmountable. And then on top of that, you add the speed differential, where just Tyson is so fast with his striking, and it does seem like Ngannou, he's quite a bit slower. So I don't know. God, it is fascinating just from the perspective, if he pulls it off, my God, it's like I think the odds are 14-1, something like that, something bananas. So if you pulled it off, this is crazy. And I do like the notion of that people are saying, if you compare it to Conor versus Floyd, which I totally bought into, but I knew less about combat sports back then. I knew way less. So that plays into it. But people are saying that if you compare the two, Ngannou's got a better chance, probably a much better chance than Conor did, because At heavyweight, you have these nuclear punches that can do this insane damage. I think the fact when you're wearing these big gloves, it lessens that impact and lessens that ability for a knockout. So perhaps smaller gloves would give Ngannou even a bigger shot, although it would also potentially favor Fury too. Who knows, with his pinpoint accuracy for throwing strikes and punches. But anyways, the point is I think Ngannou, at least we can say that. We can say he's got a better shot than Conor against Floyd. So I think that is going to be interesting. I'm going to try and watch it. I don't know if I'll be able to again because I'll be with family, but let's see. Fascinating week. Fascinating developments in the combat world. It was very exciting. So anyways, that's it. We're just doing a quick show, just me. Hope you guys found that somewhat useful and interesting, but that's all I got for you guys today. I got to jump off anyways because my computer is dying and I got to catch my flight. But we're going to be back next week with more episodes with me and Justin on Monday, okay? And let's see what goes down this weekend. Francis, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope the event is as amazing as it seems it will be. I do think it's going to be an awesome and amazing event. So thank you guys so much for joining, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.